Discover the origins and history of Ibis the Invincible, a unique magical hero from the DC Comics universe. Learn about his powers, adventures, and role in the DC pantheon as a mystical protector. Ibis the Invincible is one of the lesser-known but fascinating characters in the DC Comics universe, whose origins lie in the early days of the comic book industry. With roots in Egyptian mythology and a powerful connection to ancient magic, Ibis stands out as a mystic hero who brought a touch of the mystical and the arcane to the world of superheroes. His creation and subsequent adventures laid the foundation for many of the magical characters and themes that would later come to define the DC universe. Ibis first appeared in Comics number 2 in 1940, published by Fawcett Comics, a company that would later be acquired by DC. Created by writer Gardner Fox and artist Howard Sherman, Ibis was one of the first magical-based superheroes to grace the pages of comic books, following the rise of characters like Shazam and Captain Marvel, also known as the original Captain Marvel, before the rights to that name were transferred to Marvel Comics. While Captain Marvel's powers were based on the gods of mythology, Ibis drew heavily from ancient Egyptian lore, making him one of the most mystical and unique characters of the time. The character's backstory is rooted in ancient Egypt, where Ibis was originally a mortal man named Amenhotep. As a young man, Amenhotep was a skilled magician who had earned the trust of the Egyptian gods. In particular, the god Thoth, the ancient Egyptian deity of wisdom, writing, and magic, granted Amenhotep a powerful artifact, the Ibis stick, and imbued him with the ability to perform magical feats. This stick became the source of his power, allowing him to cast spells, summon magic, and protect the innocent. As a result of his new powers, Amenhotep assumed the mantle of Ibis the Invincible, becoming a mystical protector who fought against both earthly and supernatural threats. In his original incarnation, Ibis was portrayed as a heroic figure who battled various villains, often with a blend of magical sorcery and physical prowess. Unlike other heroes who relied on gadgets or brute strength, Ibis's abilities were tied to the arcane arts, which made him unique in a world of faster, stronger, and more technologically advanced heroes. Ibis's adventures took place in a world filled with ancient curses, magical monsters, and malevolent forces. The use of his Ibis stick allowed him to manipulate the elements, create shields of protection, and engage in other forms of spellcasting that were essential for defeating dark sorcery. Despite his ancient origins, Ibis remained a powerful and mysterious force in the world of comic books, appealing to readers who were fascinated by magic and mysticism. Though his initial run in Comics was brief, Ibis would go on to become a part of the larger Fawcett Comics universe, which included other iconic characters like Captain Marvel. In 1953, Fawcett Comics ceased publication of its superhero titles, but Ibis the Invincible was revived in various forms after DC Comics acquired the rights to many of Fawcett's characters in the 1970s. This allowed Ibis to appear in several issues of Justice League of America, where he made appearances as a member of the larger superhero community, primarily due to his magical abilities. Ibis was later given a more modern, reimagined version of his character in the post-crisis on Infinite Earths continuity. As part of the larger trend of reintroducing Golden Age heroes into the DC universe, Ibis was brought back in the Spectre series in the early 1990s, where his connection to the Egyptian pantheon was further explored. His magical abilities remained central to his character, but Ibis's role as a hero was less prominent than in his original stories. Though Ibis the Invincible was never as mainstream as some of the more iconic DC characters, his importance to the mystical side of the DC universe cannot be understated. His unique combination of ancient magic and superheroism paved the way for other mystical characters such as Dr. Fate, Zatanna, and even the modern iteration of the Spectre. His connection to the gods of ancient Egypt also added an exotic, mythological element to the world of DC, which would later be explored in greater depth by other writers. Ibis's character represents an early example of how comic books could blend real-world mythology with fantastical storytelling. The fact that he was imbued with the powers of an Egyptian god positioned him as a hero with a deep connection to history, magic, and the divine, which made him stand out in a sea of more traditional superheroes. Although he may not have achieved the lasting fame of other characters in the DC universe, Ibis the Invincible remains an intriguing and mystical figure who has inspired both fans and creators to explore the magical potential of the DC universe. In recent years, Ibis has continued to appear in various DC Comics publications, often as a mystical ally to other heroes, reinforcing the magical and mythological themes that are so central to his character. His legacy is one of ancient wisdom and magic, and although he is not one of DC's most famous superheroes, his place in the pantheon of mystical heroes is secure. With his magical powers, ties to Egyptian mythology, and dedication to protecting the innocent, Ibis the Invincible remains a fascinating and unique hero in the DC universe.